Hello and welcome to Painting the Geeks. You join us for a painting video for Massive Darkness. Here we are, this is the first of the painting videos. As you can see from the card there, we're going to do Bjorn. All the miniatures we're going to be painting as part of this series will be undercoated in, there we go, in grey. Particularly, it's the Games Workshop Mechanicus Standard Grey. Yeah. There we go. The name nearly evaded me there. There we go. So that is Bjorn, undercoated in grey. It's a really good medium to work from. It's nice. The Games Workshop one's given a nice coverage. It's nice and flat. There's no bobbling on there at all. Brilliant. And they've all turned out pretty much the same from the undercoat. So all the videos will be starting with that, and then we'll just be moving on. And what we're going to do, rather than showing you the painting on camera, because why do you need to see me see a brush onto a miniature? I'll just explain what I'm doing, and then we'll go through the colours. So for starting, I'll be using a Citadel brush. It's going to be a medium layer. So just for example, there is a medium layer. The other brush I'll be using during this a lot is my Army Painter Kolonsky Masterclass brush. Love this one. That's the tip on that. Probably a new one of them. I've had it for a while. And for bigger stuff, an Army Painter Monster size brush. Now you can use that for shades because it's got a nice big brush on it as well. Again, that's a used one. Very good for putting lots of shade on. So there's the three brushes I'm going to be using. I probably won't use any of the brushes. I kind of tend to have a small brush, a medium brush, and then a large washing brush. And sometimes I just use a very, very small brush, an Insane Detail one, which I haven't got on me right now.
I think I've got one. I've got the Psycho.
Oh, you got both. You got the Psycho as well.
Yeah, I've got the Psycho one.
So that's an Army Painter. Is that Insane Detail?
That's Insane Detail.
Yeah,
and then that's the Psycho.
There's the Psycho,
which is like one hair.
Yeah. So they're also very useful brushes as well. So here's Bjorn, and we're starting with Bjorn. And the first thing we're going to do, because normally when I paint a model, paint the majority of that model in one go. So whatever's the most. If they're not wearing armour, obviously it's going to be skin. If they are wearing armour, it's probably going to be metal of some type or leather of some type. Another rule I normally follow is paint in to out. So if the skin's like really in a helmet or something like that, still start with the skin first, even though it's a really small part. So you paint inwards to outwards and paint the majority first. Those are the rules I normally follow when I'm deciding where to start. So we're going to be starting with Citadel Bugman's Glow. There it is. And what we're going to do is just cover all the skin all over the model in that colour. So I'll be back once that's done. Okay, so now we've covered that in Bugman's Glow. See that on the back, on his leg, on his hands, arms, everything. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to give that an ink or a shade. We're going to be using a Reichland shade. There it is, in this particular case. I like Games Workshop shades. Of all the shades I've tried, I do particularly like them. Or Secret Weapon, one of those two. But I will be using more commonly available here anyway, the Reichland flesh shade. So I'm just going to cover all the flesh in that. You've got to make sure this is completely dry, and I did take 2 coats because I thinned it down. Always remember to thin down your paints, not to sound like Duncan, but always remember to thin down your paints. I did actually use 2 on this one. You don't always need to use 2, it just depends on how the paint falls, how much you've thinned it by. But in this case, it took 2. It's dry now though. And now it's dry, I will be inking it, so then I'll have to wait for it to dry again. So I'll be back once that's done. Okay, the Reichland flesh is nearly dry on that. Pretty much dry. I think it's just a little bit on that front bit which is still glistening. Everything else is dry. So we can continue with the raised areas anyway. So the next thing I'm going to use is Canadian flesh tone. Canadian flesh tone. Don't know why I said that. Canadian flesh tone. There you go. So the raised areas on the muscles are going to be painted next. I want to leave that Reichland flesh in the recesses though. So all those areas, so especially at the middle, anywhere where there's a indentation or a muscle definition, you want to leave with that shade on there. So I'm just going to paint the raised areas and I'll come back to show you what I mean. Okay, so there's the Canadian flesh tone. I actually did 2 coats, just feathering it in, hopefully you can see that on there. And on the face as well, just taking all the highlighted areas. So next we're going to do a second flesh tone highlight. We're going to be using Kislev flesh for that. And again, I'm just going to go over the areas again, leaving some of the Cadian flash tone showing this time, and just highlighting the extreme areas. I always imagine that your actual light source is coming from above or from a particular angle that it should be at, and then do your lighting accordingly. Normally you do it from above, but you can do it from a slight angle. Or if you've got another light source on the model, say like a glowing crystal or something, remember your light sources when you're doing your actual flesh highlighting. Because obviously if a crystal like he's got down here or something would be illuminating the flesh, you'd want the flesh to be highlighted there as well. It's all about shadow and light really. So in this case, we're just going to use a standard, so almost where the light is now shining on it. So we're just going to highlight the top areas in flesh, in Kislev flesh, and then I shall be back after I've done that. So that hopefully you can see the Cadian highlight on there. So there are one more flesh tone I'd like to do, and that's just some extreme highlight on the face, nose, any of the raised areas, probably along the back there where that light's actually highlighting it. Top of the hands, knee, that's red it, just a little bit. We're going to be using flayed one flesh, which is an edge highlight. And once we've done with that, we've done with the skin. So I shall get on with that and show you what the skin will look like when it's done. So there we go, we've got the edge highlights on there now. So the next thing I want to do is do the tattoos. He's got some tattoos for his face. He's got a few tattoos on his face, sort of underneath the hairline there. So before I paint the hair, I want to put these tattoos on. So for that, I'm going to do, where is it? A base of Caldor Sky. There it is. Now I'm just going to paint using my smallest insane detail brush. Some lines on his face to try and sort of represent the drawing. So I'll be back when I've done that and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so for that you can see that on the camera. We've done a couple of lines across his face with the Caldor blue. Next thing is to give that a little bit of a highlight. I'm going to go straight actually to Lothern. I was going to use Teclis in between, but considering how small that is, I'll be using the Psycho or Insane Detail brush for it. I'm just going to go straight over to the Lothern blue to make those tattoos pop out a little bit more. And we'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so hopefully you can see the tattoos on the face there. I'm quite happy with that actually. That'll do nicely. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do all the metal components, and then I can pick out where I need to do the next parts after I've done that. So I'm just going to use lead belcher on the main metal components, on the axe, and anywhere else which looks metal. I think it's mainly just the axe on Bjorn. I'll have to have a proper good look around, make sure there's nothing else that needs to be metal initially anyway. But it's just the edges of the axe. The middle of the axe is going to be gold, I think, according to the picture. Where is it? Yeah, we are. The middle of the axe is going to be gold. There's all sort of gold buttons and gold torques and everything, but they're all going to be in gold. So I'm just going to do the lead belcher parts first, and then I'll be back when that's done. Okay, so it's only the axe on Bjorn that needs the lead belcher going on, which is great. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to shade the lead belcher in Nano Gloss, and then we'll be back once that's dried. Okay, so that's dried on the axe. Before we do anything else with the metal parts though, because there's some gold parts that are going to be underneath the leather and stuff on his waist, what I want to do is actually get those bits on. So I'm going to paint that waist armour and these sort of braziers all in Doombull. I'll just have a look at the boots. Can't see the boots. I think for continuity I'll probably do the boots in Doombull as well at this stage. The pouches on the back, I think I might do that. If you have a look on there, they're just in another brown colour. So I think Dryad Bark might call for that. So if we do these bits in Doombull, do all the other pouches in Dryad Bark, and then I'll be back once that's done. Okay, so now I'm just going to cover those brown areas in, again, an oil shade, and then I'll have to wait for that to dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's dry now. So I'm going to highlight the Doombull areas around the midriff and the boots and everything in Tuscaur fur. Where is it? There it is. Tuscaur fur. The satchels and everything are going to be highlighted in, where is it? Gothor brown. There we go. So I'm going to do those two bits next before I come back, and then we can continue. Okay, so that's the Tuscaur and the bag's done in Gothor. I'm going to give the bags another highlight in Baneblade brown, just around the edges of the pouches and stuff, just to make them stand out a little bit more, away from the armour and stuff. And then once I've done that, I'll be back. Okay, so next up I want to do the fur areas around the edges of the gauntlets, along the top of his waist armour there, and I'm going to paint the bindings on his axe in the same colours. So for that we're going to start with the fang. So let me get that on, just over those areas, and then I'll be back. Okay, so the next stage, now we've done that, is to ink that in Nuln Oil, again with the Nuln Oil, wherever it's gone. There it is, I'll show you again. By this stage you should be pretty familiar with the pot paint, because I keep bringing it out. So we're just going to cover the fang in that, and then we'll be able to continue. Okay, now that's dry, I'm going to continue with the fur. We're going to be using Fenrisian Grey. I'm just going to be highlighting, picking out those bits of fur again, bringing the detail out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be back. So next up on Bjorn, we're going to do the gold. So we're going to paint this part of the model holding, the central part of the axe, the spiky bits, and we're also going to do the little buttons. It's the buttons, clips, whatever they're meant to be. I think they're meant to be buttons along the back of the armour that he's wearing, anywhere where they appear. We're all going to be using a Retributor armour for this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back in a second. So next up, we've done the gold now, so now we want to ink that. We're going to use some Reichland gloss for that. And once that's dry, we'll be back. Okay. So next we're going to give that a dry brush of yeah. Okay, so next up, now that's dried, we're going to give that a dry brush on the earlier metal parts as well of Runefang steel, just to give it a highlight, and then we should move on to the next part. Okay, so the next thing on Beyond, now that's done, is to do the black areas. So this hair and that cloth that's coming down from his waist, all that needs to be done in pattern black. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to water the black down a little bit with some Larmian, more than I would, just to try and get a bit of a shade from that existing grey base coat. It might take a couple of coats to build it up, but once I've done that, I shall return. Okay, so while that black was drying, I realised I didn't paint the torque around his neck or the band around his arm in gold, so I've done that, and I'll need to highlight that in Runefang steel as well when that's dry. In the meantime, this black's been drying, and we need to do the next phase of this, which is Eshin Grey. I'm just going to give that a highlight with that, and then once that's done, we'll be back. Okay, so that's where we're up to. So, mind all the paint on me, but there we go. We just need to do another final highlight over that cloth. The hair's fine, but I want to do a final highlight over the cloth. I want to use Dawnstone for that, just to pick up the edges, tears, stuff like that. And then I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so there we go. So before we finish off, I want to come back to the face again. We've got the mouth to do with the teeth, and we've also got the eyes to do if we can get them in there. For the eyes, I'm going to just try and put the white scar into the sockets. For the teeth, I'm going to be using a Stabi bone. There it is. So I'm just going to paint those two parts on, and then we'll see where we're up to. Okay, so there we go. For the pupils, we're going to be using the Baden Black, and then I'm also going to put some Agrax Earthshade in the mouth, just to make it a bit more grotty, medievally grotty teeth kind of thing going on. So we're going to do that. Those two parts are going to be done, then I'll come back. So there we go, so hopefully you can see that on the camera. The pupils have come out okay. That's come out pretty well. Bjorn is done. There we go. So the last thing to do on that is do the base. I'm going to be using Astral Granite, and then I'm going to be using after that non-oil. Yep, it is somewhere because I've been using it. There it is. So that'll be going on, followed by that, followed by a light colour. I've not decided yet. I might. It's either going to be Dawnstone, maybe Pallid Witch Flesh. That works quite well over the top of this sort of mix. It's a bit different from normal. I'm going to put a little bit of Astral Granite on. Normally I like to put tons of Astral Granite onto the bases just to give it a lot of depth. But these are going to be like dungeon tiles, so I just want a little bit of detailing on there as opposed to tons of detail. So the Astral Granite should work pretty well. It's a pretty thin layer of it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll have a look at the finished model. So there is Bjorn finished. Probably a good look at him. There we go. Hopefully the camera's picking all that up. Behind. I've tried to keep it as similar as I can to the artwork. That being the artwork I showed you at the beginning. I think it's turned out relatively similar. It's turned out pretty well actually. I'm very happy with that actually. So there we go. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, it helps out loads. And hopefully we'll see you again soon, guys. So the next video we're going to do is Siegfried. Stay tuned for that. And take care, guys. Bye for now.